If you want to build the best GoHighLevel websites to stay on top of your competition and charge a lot of money, then you need to use sections like this in your GoHighLevel builds. And you might ask, why will sections like this place you in the top? Because 95% of GoHighLevel users create their GoHighLevel websites using just default templates or default elements like these ones right here. Whereas these sections that I'm about to show you are unique, complex, and fully custom coded elements that transform your websites into premium and expensive ones. And I'll start with some of my favorites, the ones that add the most wow factor to your GoHighLevel builds. And let's start with the first one. I called it Interactive Grid Section 1 because we have 3 in here, but let's start with the first one. This one leverages some native GoHighLevel elements such as headlines, columns, and paragraphs, but all of them are enhanced with a bit of custom code to make them look really cool. And as you can see, when we hover, we have this fluid column scaling, which looks really cool on desktop. And then the headline plus the description move upwards and we get to see the description. Otherwise, if the column is small, we cannot see the description, only the headline. And this looks absolutely stunning, and it is one of my favorite sections. I'll show you how it looks on mobile as well, but first let's move on to all the sections. The next one is again an extremely powerful one, and I have implemented this in some websites for some of my clients, and they were absolutely stunned by its functionality and of course its conversion power. So we have this title here when customers do choose us, and then we have some benefits with images and icons and everything, and then you have this switch here, and if you flip the switch, then everything changes when customers don't choose us, and then instead of benefits you have the drawbacks of not working with us, which in my opinion is an extremely powerful section to have on your website. And the next one is the most recent section that I have added to the library, because these sections and everything that I showed you so far you can find in my GoHighLevel website pro library, link in the description by the way. And this is the most recent section that I have added. Again, a conversion booster for any website because we have this before and after slider. You might not tell from the images that it's a before and after, but those are just placeholders. And of course you can slide this divider here left to right according to the arrows, and you can see the full picture. Works extremely well if you want to display transformations and things like that, and your clients will thank you for a section like this on their website because of the conversion power that this type of section holds. And of course my library has a ton of such sections, over 40. Now let me show you how all of these would look on mobile, and not only on mobile but also on the tablet. So if you go into tablet zone, then you don't have the hover effect anymore, and you can just see the headlines and the descriptions, and all the columns stay the same. Then this one works exactly the same, and this one exactly the same. And if you push to mobile resolution, then you have the columns laid out like this, and then you also have this section which works really well on mobile as well, and this one as well, as you can see, with a different layout, but of course the slider works exactly the same. Now I want to show you even more sections from this library, but this time I want to show them to you combined in a fully working website. And we start with the menu, which is really cool. One of my favorite menu elements that I have created. It's a fully custom coded menu that has a fluid width. As you can see, when you start scrolling, it fills the edges and the top margin disappears, and then it stays sticky. It also has a blur background, which is really cool, plus cool drop down animations. Moving on to the hero section, we have a pretty nice looking hero section with this image stretching all the way to the right and to the bottom. And when you start scrolling, you get this really cool parallax effect for both the image and the text. And the cool part is that both these elements have different scrolling speed. So it's basically a double parallax effect for the whole hero section. And I think it looks really cool and gives a premium vibe to the whole website. Then we have one of the more basic sections, because I also have such sections. And this one leverages the native GoHighLevel logo carousel plus a bit of custom code to make the margins fade out. This is just for a better design. Next, we have this cool section that I showed you earlier. Of course, this is exactly how it works and how it would look in a fully built out website. And then we have this section, which is one of my favorites, but not in terms of functionality and interactivity, but in terms of personalization. This section in particular, and there are a couple more, has some really cool tricks when it comes to implementation. I'll show you in just a second. But yeah, in terms of design, you have this badge here, title, and then some columns that look pretty nice with the icons here that represent different pieces. And yeah, the whole section looks quite nice. And then we have this section, which is still work in progress because I haven't got time to optimize it fully before I add it to the library, but this is basically the next section that I want to add in the library. Basically, it has some tabs that work in a similar way to the FAQ section, but as you can see, you can click on any of the tabs, which switches the image on the right side, and it also has this progress bar, right? That works really well with an autoplay function. So when the progress bar goes to 100%, then it moves on automatically to the next tab. And it's really cool if you want to display steps, right? How it works, for example, how your program works, or how your application works, or how your service works, and so on. And you have step 1, then people can read. If they read faster and they don't want to wait for this progress bar, they can just click on the next tab and they can read the description for step 2. You have this nice hover effect. All in all, it's a pretty interesting section, and I can't wait to optimize it fully for mobile and tablet and so on and release it. Then we have this section, which again is a pretty basic one, but I like it because of how customizable it is. You change one variable, which is the color, and it will automatically change the icon color here, which is not a default GoHighLevel icon, it's an SVJ, similar to these ones here. Those are not images or icons, these are SVJs, which we can control the color, and of course the gradient will change accordingly. Then we have an FAQ, which is not a default or native GoHighLevel FAQ, but a fully custom coded one, which looks much smoother than the normal GoHighLevel one. And you also have this cool icon animation, which looks absolutely stunning. And I believe I have 4 such custom FAQ elements or sections in my library, all with different icons and different animations and things like that, and they look absolutely stunning. And then we have a cool footer. Now I want to show you in the website builder here what I mean by cool implementation tricks for this section in particular. As you can see, it uses a ton of custom code. Custom code for the badge, custom code for each image. And I think you've never seen anything like this in GoHighLevel. Someone to use custom code instead of an image. And it's pretty cool. So let me just show you. As you can see, it uses SVJs to create images, and by using this we can assign a class and we can use this class to change colors. So if we go into the custom code, as you can see, we have tons and tons of lines of code, hundreds, even thousands of lines of code for all these elements. And this is why these sections are so powerful, and combined they can create unique websites that put you on top of your competition. And with these sections you can sell higher ticket websites because they are so complex and unique. So I managed to finally find the features 6 section, and as you can see we just have one variable in here, which if we can change to red, for example, and click save once again, you'll see that everything will change. So now everything is in here is red. This icon, the headline, the badge title, then all these icons. But if we refresh, now you can see that everything is red. The icon, the badge, and of course each of these images. So that's why this section is so powerful, because you can adjust it to whatever theme your website has. And you might ask, okay, but we have to use these images. But you can actually change the images if you want. You just go into here, custom code, and change the SVJ. And for this, you can even use ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI tool you want to generate some SVJs, or you can download free SVJs or whatever, and you can just replace them in here, right? Just the SVJ part, and you are done. You're basically creating a new image for your specific element in here, and it will keep the color that you just change. So this is extremely powerful in terms of customization. And of course the library has a ton of other cool sections in terms of design, like this dark themed pricing table, which has a monthly and annually switch, really cool one. And then we have sliders for testimonials or for whatever you want to use them, because you can actually change everything that's in here. And another FAQ element, as I told you earlier, we have quite a lot, like 4 or 5 such elements, or even cooler sliders if you want to take your GoHighLevel website to the next level and have the absolute best website. So this is just a normal slider. Then we have this cooler slider which has a crazier design with a bit of texture and a gradient. You have this border here, and then you can slide from the sides just like this, or you can use the arrows. And as you can see, you have these arrows disabled when you reach the end, and it works really nice, and you don't have something like this in GoHighLevel. So without this custom coded elements, you cannot create anything close to this using native GoHighLevel elements. You also have this, which has a double card slide, so you can have one image plus a text, and yeah, it's quite powerful. And if you are curious how they look on mobile, this is exactly how they look on mobile. You can swipe left and right. This, by the way, has infinite playing, so you have 2 cards and you can just go left how many times you want, a feature which is missing for the native GoHighLevel elements. Then you have this one here, which again works really nice for mobile as well. And then you have this one right here, which has the cards one under the other, which is actually pretty interesting. So if you want to get access to all these sections plus lifetime access to all the upcoming sections that I'm about to add, check out my GoHighLevel website library from the first link in the description. And if you're curious to see the easiest and fastest way to make GoHighLevel websites responsive, then check out this video.